guys, I'm gonna start with a really big apology because I haven't updated this since before I left. And I really wanted to, and I feel awful for it, but unfortunately when the apartment complexes that we were living in over at Disney had really bad internet, so yeah, unfortunately I tried to update with a vlog, but it wouldn't work because the internet was so slow that it wouldn't upload to YouTube. So I kind of gave up in the first few weeks because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to actually do anything, and I'm really sorry about that because I know I promised you guys I would update you as often as I could, and I really wanted to, but yeah, unfortunately that was a thing. So I'm back now. Those 6 months went really fast. It was an incredible experience, hard work, long hours, but it was definitely worthwhile. I had so many amazing encounters with people, so many magic moments. I made some lifelong friends that I'll never forget, and it was just all around a really amazing opportunity to be able to do that. Sorry, I'm not doing too well at the moment. It's winter now back here, so I'm a little croaky. But yeah, so I'm really sorry for not updating while I was over there. I'm pretty sure I've got a little bit of stuff on my camera, not much, but I'll go through it, see if there's anything that I can put up. I know I recorded the fireworks and I'd hoped to post that as an apology for not sort of updating, but that never happened. Yeah, that's one thing that if anyone is going to do the program, please don't go thinking that you're going to have great internet and that you'll be able to do loads of awesome things on the internet, because it's really slow. It could have just been our particular apartment, but I don't know. It was just pretty slow. It was usually okay in the morning, sort of late morning, early afternoon, but by the evening everyone was coming home from work, and the first thing you want to do when you come home is go on your computer and relax. So it was, yeah, it wasn't the fastest internet I've ever had, but that's not why I was there. I wasn't there for the internet, I was there for the experience. I won't keep this one too long because I don't want to bore you, but basics. We got there, we had check-in, found out where we were going to be living, which apartment complex, which apartment number. We got our key, and then we got taken to our apartments. I was in Patterson Court, which is got the reputation as like the quiet complex, the retirement village type one. But I liked that. It wasn't always quiet, but it was more peaceful, I found, and it was nice. I liked that. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening with my hair today. But yeah, I was in Patterson Court, and the apartment was really nice. It was 3 bedrooms, 6 people, so it was 2 people to a bedroom. I did record some footage of the apartment, I'm pretty sure, so I will try and edit that and post it. I'll apologize in advance for how weird I may be. I've not actually watched the footage in about 5 months, so I can't guarantee how weird I will be. But yeah, I moved in. I had 5 great roommates. You know, of course, there were moments when it was difficult, when we, you know, all of us would do things that would get on each other's nerves, but, you know, on the whole, it was a great experience. I feel lucky to have wound up with the girls that I did. They were all from Australia and New Zealand, so it kind of gave me a sense of home. But yeah, it was fun. Those first few, sort of the first week or so before we started working was nice because we got time to bond and we could hang out and go to the parks together and go out for dinner, and we sort of got to know each other and bond a bit, but then once we started, because we were all working in different places on different schedules, it was very difficult to find time where we could all do something together, which was quite sad. But we tried to do things as often as we could. I loved going to the parks with the girls because, you could just hang out and have fun and go on the rides together and meet characters, and it was nice. It was really nice. So speaking of work, I was placed in Epcot, which I was very, very happy with because I remember from when we were there 12 years ago, I loved Epcot. Even as a kid, I thought it was really, really cool. It was really fascinating. So yeah, I was placed at Epcot, and I was given the role of a park greeter, which basically I was working at the entrance, not where you buy the tickets, but where you use your tickets to get into the park. So I was there helping people, greeting them. I felt a bit of pressure because you're outside of parking, you're really kind of the first people that the guests interact with. You're the first point of call before they enter the park. So I felt like I really had to up my game in terms of putting on that smile, being happy, creating that Disney magic, because you want to start their day off with a really good first stop. And so, I had fun talking to the guests, especially when we'd open. I'm not a morning person, so I hated getting up so early, but being able to open the park and be part of that was really, really fun. Because you got to see these people who were waiting to get in, and they've been waiting there. Some have been waiting there for like nearly an hour, waiting to be in line so they could be at the front of the line. And you could just talk to them and ask what they were most excited about, where they were from, and they'd ask you questions about what rides they'd recommend, what restaurants. And it was really nice getting to know people. I was actually fortunate enough on one of those days, I must have said or done something that stood out, because about 2 months later I got called into the manager's office and was told that someone who I'd spoken with at a park open one day had written in a letter and had mentioned me by name, saying really nice things about me, and that was just overwhelming. You don't think anything of it. You do it because it's your job and you do it to make people happy, but when someone actually takes the time to write into Disney and commend you on what you were doing, it's hard to describe how it makes you feel. I was so humbled, and to think that I actually stood out enough for them to remember my name, it was just something else. It was amazing. And I don't know who that person was, where they were from, but whoever they were, I can't thank them enough for saying such a nice thing. But yeah, so doing Park Open was fun. I worked between 2 locations. I was at the main entrance, and so I was the Spaceship Earth Ball that I'm sure everyone is familiar with from the front of Epcot. I was right by there, but then less frequently I'd work at the International Gateway entrance, which was located in the World Showcase between the United Kingdom and France. Sorry, my phone just lit up. Someone's trying to call me. Doesn't matter. I have more important things to think about. But yes, so I'd sometimes work at the International Gateway, which is a lot quieter than the main entrance, because the only way you could get to the International Gateway entrance was via some of the resorts. And so hold that thought. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. So the International Gateway entrance is much quieter, less people. It kind of fluctuated, because with the main entrance you get the people who are driving, and also the people who are on the monorail and people who are getting buses. But with International Gateway, it was just the resorts. So you wouldn't get that. You get a few trickling in who'd walked from one of the resorts, and then every sort of 10-15 minutes you'd get a boat come in, and you'd get like a big group of people, and then once they're all through, it would die down again. So it was kind of up and down in terms of how busy it was. But I liked working there. I really enjoyed it. Sometimes we'd get characters who'd come and visit us, who'd come and they'd sort of stand off to the side and they'd greet some of the guests, which was really cool. I remember seeing the Evil Queen one day, and she was terrifying. I just kind of stuck to what I was doing, and she, you know, did her thing and scared the children and then went off, and I was like, okay, no poison apples for me today. But no, it was great. It was so much fun, and I don't think I could choose between the two locations because it was, you know, they're both so different. But yeah, it was just an incredible place to work, and the people, like, wow. I can't even put into words how much I love the people I work with. I got so incredibly lucky to be a part of this family, because that's really what it is. It's a family. You work with each other, you look out for each other, you have a laugh. There were days when, I remember one day in particular when it was quite quiet, because around the middle of the day it would sort of quieten down a bit. There were certain times that were busier than others when at the entrance, but this was one time where it was really quiet, and I don't know, something was in the air that day and we were all in a really silly mood. And I think it was me and my friend, who was also from Australia, were just randomly doing duets of songs from Frozen. We were singing "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" for the first time in Frozen. Like, we would, I don't know why, but we just burst out into song, and some of the guests that saw us were just laughing their heads off, and we looked like idiots, but, you know, it was all fun. And then one of my closest friends, a lady called Sunday, she went to the front of the touch points and started doing the Cupid Shuffle, and we were all in hysterics. It was just, this is what it's about, you know. Yes, you work hard, you put in the work, but you also have fun, and that's what really made it worthwhile for me, was having fun with the people who I came to know as family. Like, they're my Epcot family, and I adore them, and I feel so fortunate to have met those people, because otherwise I would never have known them. And they're all so special, they're amazing, every single one of them. I just love them, and they definitely helped make my time there really memorable, because it was hard at times. You know, I'd never been away from my parents for that long before. I FaceTime them almost daily, because it was quite difficult. After a while I got used to it. It wasn't, you know, it didn't stay really difficult. Unfortunately, while I was away, my dog back here passed away, which was very difficult for me to deal with, because I was, you know, I had my roommates, but I didn't have my mum and my dad, and, you know, it was very hard to kind of deal with that loss from so far away. And it was the only moment when I really did consider just, you know, quitting and flying home, but my mum convinced me to stay, and I'm glad she did, because I think I would have regretted it if I had come back. But, you know, it's not the easiest thing being away from your family, especially when something like that happens. But no, I on the whole, you know, from the good and the bad, it was a very, very amazing experience. And while looking at it, I probably wouldn't do another program, just because I've experienced it once, and I don't think that I would do another one. But I would recommend, if you're thinking about it, go for it. Just go into it knowing that it's a lot of work. It's you know, you have to work long hours, you have to finish late. I got lucky because Epcot closed at 9, so the latest I would work would be maybe midnight. But you know, 2 of my roommates worked at Magic Kingdom and they'd sometimes not get home till 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's, you know, long hours. Pay isn't that great, especially in comparison to Australia where we've got much higher wages. But the experience is what makes it worth putting up with that. You know, you put up with the hours and the pay and the sometimes not so pleasant guests that will come and yell at you for things that are out of your control, but you put up with that because it's such an incredible opportunity. And yeah, it's once in a lifetime, and I would definitely recommend, if you're thinking about it, put in for it, because you know, you never know what will happen, and it opens so many doors as well. So I'm trying to think what else I need to say. I've gushed about my Epcot family, I've talked about my role, talked about the apartment. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say right now. But if you have any questions for me, like just, you know, comment, you know, just write a comment under the video if you have any questions. Or I also have a Tumblr that I don't use as much anymore because I'm not on the program anymore, but I'm keeping the blog open, and the ask box on there is always open. The URL is right there. So, you know, flip me a message on my Tumblr or write a comment if you have any questions, and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. You know, I hope that anyone who's going on the program for the next intake, I hope you have a blast, because it's such an amazing opportunity. The interactions with the kids were probably my favorite. They're the best kind of guests because they're still in such awe of what's happening around them. They see these characters from their TV screens and they're real, they're actually there, and they can hug them, and they just get so excited about that. And it's so rewarding to see those smiles on those kids' faces, and to be just handing out stickers. Or sometimes my favorite thing to do would be blow bubbles, you know, just stand there blowing bubbles. It's no skin off my teeth, but the kids just swarmed around me and would play with the bubbles, and several times I managed to stop children from crying and screaming because I blew some bubbles, and they were like, oh my god, bubbles, you know. And the parents, like this lady once called me her son's fairy godmother because I managed to stop him crying, and that really sort of resonated with me, because you know, it's such an honor for someone to say, oh my gosh, you're a fairy godmother. Yeah, it's just so good, it's so much fun, and I'd recommend it. So yeah, like I said, any questions, let me know. Either comment, flip me a message, and if I get enough to sort of make another video, then I'll include them in the video. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'm sorry once again for not updating for so long. I feel awful, but I'm hoping this really long babbling video is kind of make me forgiven. But yes, so thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!